Hi, welcome back to Arknights Academy. On this lesson, we'll be learning about attack interval. Get ready as we're going to do a lot of math. Before starting and showing the formula, I'll talk about some common misconceptions on this topic. Some of you might have heard or read about this thing called attack speed, referring to the amount of attack per second a unit can do. While this can be nice to know, in practice, has very little use, oftentimes ended up misleading and complicate things. That's why, for the most part, you can forget about this definition of attack speed. With that out of the way, let's start. First, what is attack interval? Attack interval is the amount of time it takes between attacks launched by units. Here's the attack interval formula, and we'll run through each of them. Final attack interval is the base attack interval plus minus multiplied by attack interval modifier divided by ASPD. Base attack interval is attack time a unit has before buff or debuff. In game, you can see there's a vague description in operator page such as slow, very fast, average, etc. This doesn't really help us much, therefore we need external source of information, which we can use such as Aceship, PRTS, etc. But if you're lazy, here's a generic table for those classification. Back to the formula. As you can see, there are two things that can affect attack interval. That is, first, attack interval modifier, and second, attack speed modifier. For the sake of simplicity and to avoid confusion, let's call it ASPD. ASPD is a percentage that represents how fast an attack is. All operators has base ASPD of 100, with the minimum and maximum range being 20 to 600. This is why units don't just straight up not attack when they get minus 100 SPD. Example being Performer Skill 2 under Pursuer Dominion effect. Next is attack interval modifier. This has the best value of 100% and can be modified in various ways such as flat modifier, which increase or decrease the attack interval by a fixed amount of time. Examples are XCI Skill 3 and Manticore Skill 2. Next is multiplier modifier, which increase or decrease by a specific percentage. Examples are WD Skill 2 and Matrox Skill 3. Lastly, final attack interval is the final attack time after all those modifiers are calculated. Pretty simple, right? However, that's not quite right. As you all know, Arknights is a mobile game. This comes with a few limitations. That is, the game can only update 30 times a second, or every 0.033 seconds. We need to account for this limitation by doing what's called frame rounding. For that, we can use the formula actual attack interval equals to the rounding of final attack interval times 30 divided by 30. Let's put this in practice. We'll use XCI with skill 3 as an example. XCI has the base attack interval of 1 second. Her skill 3 reduces her attack interval by 0.22 seconds. Her talent gives her an extra 15 ASPD. Putting all this into the formula, we get final attack interval equals to 0.78 seconds divided by 1.15 equals 0.678 seconds. Accounting for frame rounding, actual attack interval equals the rounding of 0.678 seconds times 30 divided by 30 equals 0.667 seconds. Now the question is, how many shots she get within full skill duration? If the duration is 50 seconds, we can calculate the total attacks by dividing the duration with the attack interval, which is 15 divided by 0.667. We get total 22 attacks, which translates to 110 hits. As some of you might realize, the actual attack interval ended up smaller than the calculated attack interval. This phenomenon happens quite often and can be both advantageous or disadvantageous. Last but not least, we'll be talking about attack animation. Every unit has attack animation. Attack animation consists of force swing, which is animation occurring before an attack is launched. For ranged units, it's up until the projectile are launched. Backswing, which is animation after an attack is launched. Since attack interval is the time between attacks, they essentially refers to time between backswing to an end of a force swing. Attack animation goes hand in hand with attack interval, as they both need to be in sync, else you end up getting longer attack interval than you were supposed to. What happens if attack animations are interrupted? Many things can interrupt animation, such as stun, freeze, shift, retreat, dash, or even skill usage. If force swing is interrupted by stuns, freeze, shift, then the attack is considered to be complete, and the attack interval progress bar starts by the moment the attack was interrupted. If it's interrupted by other means, then the animation are reset and need to be done again from start. Otherwise, nothing interesting happens as attack progress as usual. Those are the basis of attack cancel, which can be used to either avoid damage, cancel enemy skills, or even increase skill DPS. That was attack interval and animation. Now, do you see why they are important?